Today we're in Wesley Chapel, one of the fastest growing suburbs.
One of the fastest growing suburbs of Tampa. You got this.
Today we're in Wesley Chapel, one of the fastest growing suburbs of Tampa. And we want to give you lots of reasons to potentially consider moving to this area. We're going to go over its location, how close it is to I-75, things like Sam's Club, Publix. We're going to look at one specific community called Seven Oaks, which is just an absolutely gorgeous community. We'll take a look at a property, give you the average price points and look at what you can get for that price and figure out what in the heck is a CDD. Stay with us. Let's get into it. I'm currently standing at the intersection of Bruceby Downs and State Road 56. Now, the reason this is very important is because Bruceby Downs, which is this road down here, is actually the main thoroughfare that runs up through Wesley Chapel. And then behind me is State Road 56, which leads you back to I-75. This is one of the real reasons that a lot of people are moving to Wesley Chapel, because it's so centrally located to be able to get on I-75 and get down to Tampa. Now, I'm also standing in front of the shops at Wiregrass, which is one of the main locations where people will come to enjoy dinner, shopping, and just good time out with their family. But also on the other side, we have the grocery store, Publix. Everything is just so easy to access from this intersection, and your communities are going to start springing out from here. And the community that we're going to go over today is right back here, and it's the community of Seven Oaks. We actually lived in Seven Oaks for quite some time, and in fact, 2 houses in Seven Oaks, and it made evenings and just daily living extremely easy because we could hop right over to Publix, get what we needed for groceries. You got the UPS store over there. Val, you talked about a little hidden gem over at the shops on the other side.
Hallmark store.
The Hallmark store?
If you like the Hallmark store, which I do, because you can buy a gift for any occasion, and it feels kind of special from the Hallmark store.
Yeah. Restaurants are over there, office supply store. We're walking up on the shops at Wiregrass. I want to show you not only some of the stores that are here, which would be fairly typical for most cities, but I want to show you maybe one of Valerie's favorites. And when we're talking about cities, Wesley Chapel is actually not even a city. It's a census designated place, which a lot of these thriving, growing areas in Pasco County, in the suburbs of Tampa, are census designated places. They're not cities with true downtowns. But things are still developing, and they're fast growing because they are part of the outskirts of the Tampa suburbs.
Because when I came from Texas, and in Texas you have a downtown, you have a main street, you have an area where everybody knows where to go. This is where you have the parade. This is where you shop at the main areas. Growing up, we didn't have anything like regular stores, so you got all of your wedding china and all of your crystal, all of everything you would get for a wedding or a shower, you got at the pharmacy. There weren't other stores like Walmart or anything like that. So when I moved here to Wesley Chapel with Jeremy, I kept looking for the downtown area. And I drove to Wesley Chapel and just drove all around looking for the downtown area. I felt like such a fool because there isn't one. There is not a downtown. But if you come here to the center, like Jeremy was just talking about, Bruceby Downs and 56, it feels like you're in the center, the heart of Wesley Chapel. Yeah.
Okay, rolling up on one of Valerie's favorite places, and it is
Da-da-da.
Barnes & Noble. What's special about this Barnes & Noble?
Oh, well, this Barnes & Noble is a 2-story Barnes & Noble, which is very rare these days. They've gone to a smaller model in a lot of shopping centers with no cafe. This one is a 2-story, very large model with a huge cafe. As you know, they've also acquired the Paper Source, and that has just given this Barnes & Noble an incredible extra section. So it's not just books, it's gifts, it's wrapping, it's everything special is also in here.
Readers are leaders, right?
That's right.
Or leaders are readers, right?
This is more outdoor shopping where you enter the stores from the outside. But really, it's a lot of your typical stores. Champs, Sporting Goods, Tilly's, Children's Place, American Eagle. Typical mall-type stores with a few boutiques kind of mixed in, right?
And 3 large anchor stores.
3 large anchor stores, Dillard's, Macy's, JCPenney.
Yes.
And then you've got the, like we said, the Barnes & Noble, but also places to eat.
So if you're thinking to move into Tampa, even the suburbs of Tampa, you're going to have to start dressing like us. And you come to Wiregrass and come to some of these specialty shops that have everything you need to become a Tampa Bay fan. So as we're walking down, you always can run into some people that you may or may not know. And we just did. Who is this lady, you might say? This is my daughter-in-law. Just happened to see her.
Hi.
Walking around.
We're just walking through Wiregrass and the new seating area they have out here. It's always been here, but they created a nice area for everyone to sit. Tables you can sit and have lunch with. I meet my daughter-in-law up here and bring her lunch on her break from Warby Parker. Anyway, it's lovely. It's really close right here to these amazing restaurants. It's a great place to come in Wiregrass.
One of my favorite places to eat is right here. The living room. One of the reasons I like it so much is because it doesn't have TVs inside. I think it may have one TV by the bar or something like that. But it encourages people to sit and chat with each other, like the olden days. Another one of our favorites, famous Grillsmith. Chuck Lager over there. If you want something super quick, back over this way. Panera Bread.
Noble Crust is right down at the end.
Noble Crust down this way.
Delicious. Great service.
So kind of the heart of Wiregrass.
Wiregrass is shaped like a rainbow.
Shaped like a rainbow?
It's shaped like a rainbow. So it's got an end and it just is an arch. It's shaped just like a rainbow. So you can park in the middle and go each way, or you can just park on the end and walk all the way down, walk all the way back. It's rainbow shaped.
I want to say thanks for watching the video. My name is Jeremy Rickard. I'm the broker and owner of Excelico Real Estate right here in Central Florida. And my wife Valerie and I, we love to help families thrive. And that means getting you information that maybe you wouldn't otherwise have, introducing you to communities maybe you haven't seen, giving you tours around town to help you make a very educated decision. We don't want you making any decision out of fear. We want to get you as educated as possible. And we would love to be your guide if you're considering moving here to the Tampa Bay suburbs, Wesley Chapel, Land O'Lakes, Lutz, any of the suburbs. We're passionate about helping you find your next home. So if that describes you, feel free to reach out to us at the number listed here, or you can shoot me a direct email at jeremy@excelicor.com. Let's get back to the video. So we're currently at the intersection of Ancient Oaks Boulevard and State Road 56. So this is the community we're going to highlight today. It's known as Seven Oaks. When we first moved here to Florida, this is the community that both Val and I wanted to be in. One of the reasons that Val and I wanted to be in this community of Seven Oaks when we originally moved to Florida was for the school system. We had elementary school age kids at the time, and the Seven Oaks Elementary School, which is located in this community, is actually one of the best in Wesley Chapel. So we distinctly moved here for that reason. But there's so many other benefits too. It's so central to everything Wesley Chapel. It's central to Wiregrass. It's central to getting onto I-75, which realistically is just right up that way. It's very close. And less than 2 miles that way. And let's say that you wanted to go to Sam's Club. Right behind me right here. You could technically, depending upon where you lived in this neighborhood, walk to Sam's Club.
On their nature trails. You could walk from your house on the nature trail all the way to Sam's Club.
And there's some really cool nature trails inside of Seven Oaks, which a lot of the communities in Florida do have nature trails, which are gorgeous. I mean, I know I was talking about dead trees, but you've also got some very beautiful trees too. The palms and the nature. And this community was built in the early 2000s. And so some of the trees have had time to develop. It's not like your new construction communities that you don't have the large amounts of foliage and the trees that have had time to grow. This one has. We have a lot of oak trees in here, a lot of magnolia trees, which are one of my favorite, and obviously the palm trees as well. So if you remember from my last video, I had a pea coat on and it was cold, and that was just last week. We are still in February, and as of this morning, we had the heat on in our house, and now we are currently sweating. The Florida sun is just different. It's just hot. It is just different. I want to show you. We do have winter. Look at those trees. Look at those trees. Don't look the prettiest, but I promise you, come spring, it will look amazing. One of the good features about living in this area are all the retention ponds, all the ponds that capture rainwater. It serves a function, but it also provides beauty, and Jeremy loves it. Just pulled into the Seven Oaks Clubhouse. Look at this place from the outside. Let's go check it out. Now, lots of communities have pools. That's nothing unusual. Lots of communities have tennis courts. That's not unusual. Lots of communities even have cabanas. Probably not unusual. But does your community have a water slide like that?
Into a lap pool.
Into a lap pool, for sure. Not one pool, but two pools. Hot tub on the ledge. And for the littles, you got a splash pad. If this doesn't scream Florida, I don't know what does. And if you'll notice, there's another covered area over there for the kids to play. It's important for the covering because it's so hot here in Florida. Mm-hmm. Soccer fields back there. We've got basketball courts back here, volleyball courts. And we just came from this area right over here, which was the movie theater. Currently in the Seven Oaks movie theater we talked about. I don't know many communities that have one of these. Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Be a good one for you to watch. You would actually enjoy it. Ben Stiller.
I don't know if you ever watched that. Was before your...
There he is, right there. That's him.
Yeah.
That's Ben Stiller.
Okay. I know the face. I just don't know the name. I'm feeling quite nostalgic. Trying not to get emotional. I don't really want to look around that much, but we raised our kids here, and just over here we had our first and only Rickard Olympics. My parents flew in so that we could have an Olympic Games that went with our. We ended up homeschooling that went with our homeschool curriculum, but my kids were in diapers when they were playing in here. So anyway, this is great. I love it. Something that you do need to know about Seven Oaks and about several communities that are in Wesley Chapel is that there is what's called a CDD fee here. That stands for Community Development District Fee. It's collected in the taxes, but it's basically used for operations and management of the community. So some of you may say, well, that sounds like an HOA to me, Jeremy. There is a small HOA here, but HOAs are private amongst the citizens and the homeowners inside the community, whereas a CDD is actually elected officials that may or may not live in the community, and they govern that CDD. Also, because CDDs cover the operations and management, as those fees for those things go up, a CDD fee can go up. But it's collected in your taxes, so you can write it off just like you would write off home ownership. One of the benefits of living in this particular suburb of Tampa is the fact that it's located, or predominantly located, in what we call an X flood zone. Now, every property in the state of Florida is located in some sort of a flood zone.
AE, A, X. And that designation is going to signify to the lender whether or not you need flood insurance. An X flood zone does not mean that it's not located in a flood zone. It is. It's just the possibility of the property flooding is once in a 500-year time period. In an AE flood zone, it's once in about 100 years. So the liability is higher. Lender, insurance companies going to require you to have flood insurance. If you're in an X zone, not required by your lender to have flood insurance, with one caveat. Citizens Insurance, which is the state-run insurance company, is supposed to be the insurer of last resort. As of 2027, they are going to require everybody that has policies with their company to carry flood insurance, whether you're in an X zone or an AE zone, it does not matter. Everybody in 2027 will have to carry it with Citizens. This year in 2026, if your property has a value, the structure of the home has a value, an assessed value of $400,000 or more, you also are going to have flood insurance through Citizens, even if you're in an X zone. But that's only if the property has an assessed value of $400,000, and that's the structure of the home, not including the land or whatnot. So we're inside of Seven Oaks, and we're going to spotlight a house today, kind of give you an idea of what you can expect from the homes here in Seven Oaks. And the average price point for homes in this community is around $580. So I tried to get fairly close to that with just a little bit more expensive, but you're going to get something special with this house that you wouldn't get with some of the other homes. So here's the special thing. You open the door, what's the first thing that you see? A gorgeous private pool. Not just any private pool. Got a little built-in cave over there, waterfalls, and spa. A nice little retreat back here with a fence, plus your built-in grill. Granite countertops, lots of cabinets, stainless appliances, all these sorts of things would be just standard in a Seven Oaks home. Upstairs, this one has an entertainment room, which is solely for that. Entertainment. You can see the bedrooms down here, more bedrooms down there. And then an extremely spacious master. Overlooking the pool. Garden tubs, granite, undermount sinks. Again, all things that would be standard. Now, this home has been on the market for 227 days. That is well beyond the roughly 50 days that most homes are on the market for. So you say, Jeremy, why in the world is that home been on the market that long? It could be the price, but when I look at the price, it seems to be actually a good deal for the size of home that you're getting and specifically this pool. So here's what I want to point out, which is why you need to have eyes on the ground. That right there is the ceiling, and you can see how it's mismatched. And that would indicate a water problem, meaning something upstairs, whether the air conditioning unit or it could have been a leak in the tub, it could have been a leak in the washer and dryer, something has affected that right there. And when people come in and they see that, that raises questions. And one of the key questions in Florida is mold. You need to stay away from mold as best you can. This state is riddled with it, so it's difficult to not have any interaction with it. However, Val and I both are very sensitive to this issue because Valerie had mold exposure, which made her quite sick. And so we do have a tendency to look really specific at those things. So if you have allergies, if you have sensitivities to mold, we love to help clients out by pointing these things out so it doesn't become a real problem later. Thanks again for watching the video. I hope that you learned something. And I also hope that maybe you could connect with Valerie and I on a more personal level as we're revealing some of the things that just make us us. And we're being quite vulnerable on some of these videos, authentic, we hope, and letting you know our experience as we've lived here in Central Florida over the years. If you would, it would really help if you would subscribe to the channel so that when we come out with new videos each Wednesday, you would be notified of those. And if you could comment some of the things that you would like to see in future videos, that would really help as well, as it helps us to pinpoint really what people want to hear about. We would love to do those videos. We would love to help get you more educated so that you can make a very informed decision about moving to this area. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.